So if there's anything, it's right in here to me.
You want to whistle Gary over?
Yep. Gary,
Yep,
maybe we should detect this whole surface.
I agree with that. I'm coming over.
Every great mystery is like a locked room. You need the right key to see what's inside. For centuries, treasure hunters on Oak Island have tried every key they could find, old maps, pirate legends, complex machinery, but the door remained shut. Now, scientists have found a new key, not in the ground, but in the very fabric of life itself: DNA. The genetic code unlocked from skeletal remains found on the island doesn't just open the door, it blows it off its hinges. The shocking origin it reveals has nothing to do with Captain Kidd and everything to do with an ancient global conspiracy. The answer from the money pit. For 225 years, the story of Oak Island has been a frustrating cycle of hope and disappointment. Many people are crazy about the legend, which involves a fabled money pit, a booby-trapped hole in the ground said to contain everything from pirate treasure to the Holy Grail. Treasure hunters have poured millions of dollars and countless hours into this small island off the coast of Nova Scotia, finding tantalizing clues but never the ultimate prize.
The underwater road has age on it, and it also has about 20 inches of sediment on top of it.
You see, the thing nobody tells you is that for every piece of coconut fiber or old coin found, there are 1,000 tons of mud and a dozen dead ends. But recently, during a massive excavation project in the Money Pit area, something was found that wasn't a coin or a piece of wood. It was something deeply personal, and to put it mildly, deeply unsettling. Deep within the churned-up earth, over 150 feet down, drill cores brought up small, fragmented pieces of bone. They were clearly ancient, stained dark by the mineral-rich soil. For years, finds like this were unprovable. But technology has finally caught up to the legend. These weren't just any bones, they were determined to be human. The team, led by the Lagina brothers, knew they had something huge. What many overlooked at first was the context. These weren't from a simple grave, they were found at a depth associated with the original mysterious construction of the money pit itself. After a painstaking process, scientists at a specialized paleogenetics lab were able to do the impossible. They extracted and sequenced ancient DNA from the fragments. The team waited, expecting the results to confirm one of the popular theories. Perhaps the DNA would match a 17th century pirate, a Spanish sailor, or even a British soldier. The reality, however, was something no one was prepared for.
The results are incredible, fantastic, gobsmacking, to use one of Gary's terms.
The lab report came back with two distinct profiles. The first profile, belonging to a male, was of European descent. The haplogroup, a type of genetic marker, was common in Western Europe, particularly France. This was incredible on its own, suggesting a French presence on the island far earlier than previously thought. It could be a Templar knight, a theory many have championed for years. But it was the second DNA profile that sent shockwaves through the entire research team. It belonged to another individual, and their genetic lineage wasn't European at all. It was from the Levant, the region in the Middle East that includes modern-day Israel, Lebanon, and Syria. To be precise, the mitochondrial DNA haplogroup was one most commonly found among populations in that specific area. This wasn't a vague connection, it was a direct genetic link to the Holy Land dating back to a time before Columbus. This is a wow factor of epic proportions. It means someone from the Middle East was not only on Oak Island but was involved in whatever happened deep inside the money pit centuries ago. The implications are mind-boggling. How did two individuals, one from France and one from the Middle East, end up buried together 150 feet underground on a remote North American island in the pre-colonial era? Carbon dating of the bone fragments placed their age somewhere between the 14th and 15th centuries. This discovery shatters the simple narrative of pirates burying treasure. It points to a highly organized international expedition with a purpose so secret it required bringing people from opposite ends of the known world to a tiny, unknown island to create one of the most elaborate and mysterious structures on Earth. The bones don't just add a clue to the puzzle, they flip the entire puzzle board over. The story now is not about who buried treasure, but about what they brought and why it was so important. What they brought had to be more valuable than just gold. just a pirate's tale. The bombshell revelation of Middle Eastern DNA on Oak Island forced everyone to look at the existing evidence in a new light. For years, researchers have pointed to clues that just didn't fit the pirate narrative. But not all things are what they seem, and these oddities were often dismissed as anomalies. Now, with the DNA results, these strange clues are snapping into place, forming a picture that is both clearer and far more complex. The presence of someone from the Levant alongside a European strongly supports one of the most enduring and romantic theories about Oak Island, that it is the final resting place of treasure spirited away by the Knights Templar. Let's break it down.
It could be leading us back to where the treasure is.
The Knights Templar were a powerful Catholic military order founded in the 12th century. Their primary mission was to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. Headquartered on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, they became incredibly wealthy and powerful, creating a massive international banking system. Many people are crazy about the idea that they also became the guardians of Christendom's most sacred relics, including potentially the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail. In the year 1307, the King of France, deeply in debt to the Templars, turned on them. He had Templars all over France arrested on a Friday the 13th, seized their assets, and had many of them tortured and burned at the stake. However, the legendary Templar fleet docked at La Rochelle vanished without a trace, along with their immense portable treasure. This is where Oak Island comes in. The theory goes that the Templars escaped and, using their advanced navigational knowledge, sailed across the Atlantic. What many overlooked is that they would need a secure, remote place to hide their relics, a place no one would ever think to look. The DNA results create a stunningly direct link to this story. A man of French origin, a Templar knight, and a man of Levantine origin, perhaps a guardian of a specific relic, a scholar, or an engineer with knowledge from the Holy Land, working together. This wasn't a ragtag group of pirates, this was a dedicated order with a sacred mission. Suddenly, other strange finds at Oak Island make perfect sense. Take the famous 90-foot stone, a slab of rock pulled from the money pit in the early 1800s, allegedly inscribed with strange symbols. One translation of the symbols read, 40 feet below, 2 million pounds lie buried. While the stone's location is now unknown, the story persists. What if the symbols weren't a simple pirate code, but a form of cipher known only to the Templars? Furthermore, consider the coconut fiber found layered deep within the money pit. The nearest coconuts grow thousands of miles south, in the Caribbean or even farther. Getting tons of it to Nova Scotia in the 14th century would require an incredible logistical effort, one that a wealthy and organized group like the Templars could certainly manage. It was used as dunnage in ships and as a filter in drains, perfect for the complex, booby-trapped flood tunnels of the money pit. The thing nobody tells you is that the engineering of the money pit itself, with its flood tunnels designed to use the force of the ocean as a permanent guard, is far beyond the capabilities of typical pirates. It suggests sophisticated knowledge, possibly learned in the Middle East, a region known for its advanced understanding of irrigation and water management. The DNA evidence is the key that ties all these disparate elements together. It provides the human connection, transforming a collection of weird facts into a cohesive and frankly jaw-dropping narrative. The mystery is no longer just on an island, it spans continents. Who else knew about the New World? The discovery of Middle Eastern and French DNA on Oak Island doesn't just rewrite the history of that small island, it challenges the entire timeline of when the Old World connected with the New. We are taught that Christopher Columbus was the first to make a successful recorded voyage in 1492. But a growing body of evidence suggests that this is, to put it mildly, not the whole story.
The application of science. We should get some answers from these two pieces.
The Oak Island bones are arguably the most significant piece of this puzzle, suggesting that secret, well-funded transatlantic voyages were happening at least a century before Columbus. And they weren't for exploration, they were for concealment. This find forces us to consider Oak Island not as an isolated mystery, but as the epicenter of a hidden history. Who else might have had the knowledge and resources to cross the Atlantic? One popular candidate is Prince Henry Sinclair of Orkney, a Scottish nobleman who, according to the Zeno narrative, a controversial set of letters and a map published in the 1500s, allegedly journeyed to North America in 1398. Sinclair's family, the St. Clairs, have long been linked to the Knights Templar. Rosslyn Chapel, their family church in Scotland, is filled with intricate carvings that some believe are Templar symbols, including depictions of corn and aloe vera, plants native to the Americas that shouldn't have been known in Scotland before Columbus. You see, a voyage like the one that ended at Oak Island would have required immense secrecy and preparation. We're talking about ships capable of crossing 3,000 miles of treacherous ocean, crews loyal enough to never speak of their mission, and engineers with the knowledge to build the money pit. This wasn't a simple trip. It was a mission planned with military precision. What many overlooked is that such a group wouldn't just disappear after completing their work. They would have left a trail, a network of contacts and knowledge. Could Sinclair's voyage have been a follow-up or even part of the same Templar-led initiative? This DNA evidence also forces us to re-examine other mysterious North American artifacts. The Kensington Runestone, a slab of rock discovered in Minnesota in 1898, is covered in runes that tell the story of Norse explorers in the year 1362. While most mainstream academics dismiss it as a hoax, the stone's defenders argue it's proof of a continued European presence in America long after the Vikings. What if these weren't isolated incidents? What if they were all part of a clandestine world of pre-Columbian contact known only to secret societies and royal houses? The mission at Oak Island would have been the crown jewel of such operations. Not just a visit, but a permanent installation designed to hide something of immense value forever. The purpose wasn't to colonize or trade, it was to bury a secret so deep the world would forget it ever existed. The bone fragments proved that a team of international specialists was on the island. The Frenchman, perhaps a Templar knight, provided the security and logistical command. The man from the Levant might have been the architect, the keeper of the sacred knowledge, the one who knew how to build the traps and consecrate the ground. They worked and perished together, their shared secrets sealed in the earth. Their very existence is a testament to a level of global coordination and secrecy in the Middle Ages that historians are only now beginning to comprehend. The real treasure of Oak Island may not be gold or jewels. It could be the proof of this secret history itself, a legacy buried in the earth. So here we are. The dust has settled from the scientific bombshell, and we're left staring at a completely new landscape.
It is a treasure hunt after all, and we have exposed new area for him to investigate.
People watching this are likely looking for answers, for that final piece that makes everything click. But the thing is, this discovery raises more questions than it answers. We have to talk down to earth for a minute. Is it possible this all happened overnight? That a group just decided to sail across the world and build this? Of course not. This was the culmination of a plan that may have taken generations. If this is true, are we missing a key detail? Absolutely. The biggest one of all. What on earth were they burying? Let's consider the possibilities, moving beyond simple treasure. If the Knights Templar were involved, as the DNA strongly suggests, they could have been hiding religious relics of unimaginable significance. An object like the Ark of the Covenant, said to hold the Ten Commandments, would be the ultimate treasure. Its power, according to legend, was immense, and hiding it from their enemies would have been their most sacred duty. The presence of a guardian from the Levant would make perfect sense in this scenario. Or perhaps it was knowledge, a library of sacred texts from the Temple of Solomon, documents proving a secret bloodline, or scientific knowledge from the ancient world that would have been considered heresy in Europe. Hiding information is often more important than hiding gold. But let's expand the possibilities even further, into the realm of speculation that the Oak Island mystery invites. Could the object have been something not of this world? Many people are crazy about ancient astronaut theories, and while there's no direct evidence, the sheer scale of the Oak Island project makes one wonder. What would justify such an incredible multi-generational effort? What could be so important that it required bringing together a team from across the globe, building an underground fortress, and then disappearing from history, leaving only whispers and legends? The DNA evidence has opened a new chapter, but the final pages are still unwritten. What do you think they buried that was so important? Was it a holy relic, a historical secret, or something else entirely? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.